All right. Well, I thank everybody for coming today. This is the Finance and Administration Committee. If anybody in the public has any comments, please feel free to do that at the end. You have 5 minutes to speak under public comments. But other than that, we'll go ahead and get this started. Sandy, can we get a roll call?
Nathan Parchman.
Here.
Jessica Lott. Here. Jim Campbell.
Here.
Jim Blackburn.
Here.
Todd Roach. Okay, we have a quorum.
All right. Thank you. Next item would be approval of minutes. So can I get a motion and a second to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Second?
All right. Got a motion and a second. Any questions or concerns on the minutes from anybody on the committee? Council? Public? All right. If not, can we get a, all in favor say aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, minutes pass. All right, 2.1, Sandy?
Okay, so thank you. The summary is in the packet, and basically what this is, Timmons is a company that we have used for our City Works program. This is a project that we have had in the budget, just wasn't really talked about as one of the big items that we're going to do. And so therefore we wanted to bring it back through council, and this will be work for City Works and GIS support services. Again, the summary kind of tells you what those services will be used for. But basically, again, it's for our City Works program and GIS support. The money is in the budget. It's just going to be reallocated from various funds. So it is in the amount of $78,873. As we said, no additional budget appropriations do need to be requested for the FY27 budget. Public Works will take part of the cost on that. We have Dan Gentry, our IT director, if anybody has any questions. Otherwise, we are looking for a motion to approve a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a contract with Timmons Group for professional services.
All right, thank you, Sandy. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second?
We got a motion and a second. Any questions or comments from the committee?
So just to understand, is this like a re-implementation or just kind of resetting? Have we been long-term users of the software and trying to get recalibrated on it? Just new users that come along as advances the technology?
Dan, would you like to
Sorry,
speak
it's
to
software,
that?
Dan, you know I had to ask, so.
No, I can address that. So we've actually been a CityWorks customer since 2003. It was implemented along with our GIS system. These two platforms integrate with a whole bunch of other programs and things. We're on our third major user interface change with the product, which is primarily what the CityWorks services are regarding, because not only is the user interface changing, but the several hundred reports that go along with it have had to be rewritten in another program, and we've actually accomplished most of that in-house, but we have some allowances for that in this contract. Otherwise, it is helping us do the setup and training of that. And then as a separate item, there is some upgrade to our GIS platform, since the same company that's doing this support is also who usually gives us, on that platform, it's really more of an assist. With GIS, they're usually on the phone and logged in remotely in a computer to help us guide us through things, whereas with the user interface stuff, it's a lot more hands-on, what we need their assistance with.
Well, shout out to you, because I know that how many people or companies, cities pay for these giant softwares and don't pay to train as we keep going on. So I think this is great. Thanks for
Certainly.
clarifying.
Any other questions?
Hold tight. Any other questions from the committee?
Does this integrate with what the county uses for recorder of deeds and that sort of thing?
No, there's a separate program that and I'm not sure exactly which one you're talking about. I think it's Laredo or something like that, that our community development folks use to get into some of that. However, we get a lot of our data from the county. So we do get parcel data, we get roads data and some other things. And we actually have references in a lot of our maps that actually point to county data. So when I say we're integrated, we kind of have a lot of fingers going back and forth.
Anybody else on the committee? Council? Public? All right, Dan, you're good. Thank you for that clarification. Appreciate that.
You want a roll
All
call?
right, we have a motion, a second. Can I get a roll call?
Parchman?
Yes.
Lotz?
Yes.
Campbell?
Yes.
Blackburn?
Yes.
Okay, passes. It'll move on to city council.
All right, next item will be 2.2, and that was going to some, Robin. Okay, that's going to Robin.
Thank you. Okay, this report reflects the budget to actual for the period May 1 through March 31st, 2026. Keep in mind, there's a lot of variances due to the timing of journal entries. We are still working on our fiscal year end. Also, some expenses may be down based on projects that haven't started yet, or revenues down based on postings and accruals. This is the same report you've received for several years, but now a formal action item is requested by City Council for approval.
Thank you, Robin. Can I get a motion and a second on that?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Got a motion, second. Any questions from the committee? Council? Public? All right. Can I get a roll call?
Parchman?
Yes.
Lotz?
Yes.
Campbell?
Yes.
Blackburn?
Yes.
Okay, and that will show up, motion out of committee at the council meeting.
All right, thank you. And next to 2.3, Sandy?
So this one, if you recall, we had just approved in February, we signed an agreement with BSNA, who will be our new ERP implementation. We started looking at some of the processes, and in so doing, as Jeff has talked about in Public Works, the new meter system. When we went out for proposals, that was not in our scope of services because we really didn't know it was going to be happening. And so there's an additional fee to implement that new meter system and that Badger Beacon integration with utility billing, as well as we went out for 5 years of data conversion, really with best practices since our what we want for record retention is 7 years. We thought it would probably be best to do 2 additional years. So, at a minimal cost, we asking for a change request in the amount of $16,910. We do have funds available. Part of it will go to Public Works because it deals with the Public Works, and then some of the conversion for the additional data years will come out of general fund.
Thanks, Sandy. Can I get a motion and a second on that?
So moved.
Second.
I got a motion and a second. Any questions from the committee?
I have a question. So the 5 to 7 years, is that just Public Works data, or that's all the
All
data
of
in
our
the system?
utility billing, all of our financial
roger
data,
that.
accounts payable, receivables, everything.
Gotcha, yep, thank you.
So there's a program that will monitor the meters for Public Works, and this is an integration to connect it from our Public Works software into our finance software.
So, right, so basically with Jeff's new Public Works meters, there's a whole new integration that needs to be done. And when we did the scope of services, that really wasn't on our radar to do it. And so now, because they're gonna have to take new data, implement it with the new Badger Beacon software, they're gonna have to do some more integration needs for that.
Any other questions from the committee? Council? Public? All right. If not, can we get a roll call?
Parchman?
Yes.
Lotz?
Yes.
Campbell?
Yes.
Blackburn?
Yes.
And Roach?
Yes.
Okay, so Todd at 5:38. Okay.
All right. And Todd showed up, so
So
add him to the roll.
There will be a resolution at council.
Thank you. 2.4, Sandy?
That one, you want me to go ahead and give it to you?
Yeah, I'll take over from here.
Stop share.
So tonight, the next action item is authorizing the mayor to sign an agreement with Matchbox Creative for website, tourism update, or tourism website proposal. But before we got there, I wanted to give this presentation to the committee and the council about our tourism and community engagement coordinator position and what she's been working on, except for she did have her baby 2 weeks ago. I am authorized by law to be able to tell you guys that. And so she is out right now doing what new mothers do. And so she said she's watching tonight. So hello, Ollie. I hope I don't fail you. So Ollie hit the ground running, and as you guys know, this was a council priority to kind of increase our tourism and economic development and community outreach. We had a long list of great candidates, and I think we really lucked out. The city of O'Fallon really lucked out by getting Ollie in this position. She's really hit the ground running. What's been really great to see is she's kind of from the outside. She's not in government. And so, you know, it turns out sometimes we don't do things the best way we can. People learn. And so Allie did put this together and worked on the website. And so we'll get into some of the things that she's been very successful in doing. My computer update is not one of them. So one of the first things she hit the ground running on was marketing. She has a strong background in social media and content creation. And so if you guys look at our Facebook and TikTok and everything else that we're not great at anymore, she's really revolutionized it. We're making daily updates. She has posts planned out all the way until the end of this calendar year. Saying that, we no longer need the services of Atomic Dust to do these social media updates. And so we're able to save enough money just on bringing this all in-house to pay for the contract tonight we're asking you to consider. So, you know, so we've really improved our social media presence, focused on events and items interesting to residents and visitors. I'm happy to report that over the last 90 days, we've had 1.6 million social media views for the City of O'Fallon social media pages. And we have a strategy focused on branding and multi-platform structures, which includes posts, videos, reels, and et cetera. And so one thing is that she's listing a lot of the events we have in town. We make them kind of the featured posts on our social media and share a lot of the things. And this one on the right of the screen is one of the ones she created for our live music in the park and our district nights. The new downtown district boxes with a QR code have been installed and are now in our downtown area. Both Allie and Abigail Klein worked on this, and so they really look great. I have a soft spot for the original orange boxes. But these, I think, might even look a little bit better than that. And so you will see there is a QR code with the intention of connecting all these assets into one central place, which will be a new website. One thing we've really hit strong on over the last 6 months is promoting our local businesses and attractions. So these are some examples of content created by Ollie, which includes May the 4th, Be With O'Fallon, kind of bar and beer and restaurant hop. National Bike Month, Cinco de Mayo. We are also doing some business spotlights where Abby and Allie will go out and meet the owners and write up an article and help get them some publicity. I know that the Thai restaurant that's featured on the bottom right, they had more of a soft opening. And when we put this on Facebook, they filled their entire store and they were incredibly happy. I believe they told Debbie with the chamber that they were just floored by the number of people that come into their restaurant just because of a social media post. So the things we put on social media have proof that they work. And another big thing that she's really kicked off, and we've all been very interested in this, is creating partnerships throughout the city. So we have met with our hotels, many of our businesses, our Chamber of Commerce, the downtown district, and the list goes on and on. But we're forming these partnerships to create synergy in O'Fallon that helps us create the best experience for not only our residents, but our visitors when they come in O'Fallon. On the bottom right is something that we're very excited about. We've had 3 already aired. We work with the Panther Beat and students at OTHS to create O'Fallon in Focus. And so Mayor Van Hook and I were on the first episode, the pilot, and I guess it got enough views that we did a couple more. Andrew and Sarah and Sam have all been featured on it, talking about parks amenities. And so these will be featured throughout the year, and we look forward to a long partnership with this Panther Beat and these students. We did meet on May 14th with a group of City of O'Fallon hotels, businesses, tournament directors, the Chamber, the Tourism Bureau, and we did pitch to them this O'Fallon Game Day Partners program. And so this would be the next step in our recreational tourism engagement and experience in the City of O'Fallon. And so it is a way to connect local hotels, restaurants, retailers, and activity provided with visiting teams and families. Promoting O'Fallon as a premier destination with comprehensive visitor resources, support local business growth by leveraging tournament traffic, and create a unified network of community partners, all to enhance the visitor experience from arrival to departure. And so when we talk about the O'Fallon experience, it's every department, it's every business. I think we've all probably in our life gone to a community where we felt unsafe or we felt safe, and there's definitely a different approach in when you leave and you want to return. And so when we want everybody who comes into O'Fallon to have that great, what we'll call this the game day experience, but experience nonetheless anytime they come into O'Fallon where they want to return here. And so this is all a partnership that we're working to create. There's a marketing promotion plan and a strategy to reach visitors through multiple channels, including digital marketing, social media, email, newsletters, a dedicated website, printed materials including visitor guides, maps, and event programs, on-site signage and banners at O'Fallon Family Sports Park, and direct collaboration with tournament organizers for timely announcements and promotions. I did not include, we also have a tourism mobile that will be at the sports park and other large events that will be boots on the ground working on this game day partners and other things to bring people into O'Fallon and complete that experience. What we'll work with them is we'll provide a toolkit with marketing materials and signage and guides for all partners, tournaments, and hotels. It'll include curated emails for tournament directors to send to clubs, social media spotlights and website features, as well as printed materials and bags upon check-in. And we'll work on that to determine success through visitor spending data and estimated tournament visitors, partner participation, economic impact, and more. One thing that we're looking at is a physical pass to present to partners. And so in theory, you could use this physical pass to maybe go into a restaurant and they would offer you a discount or maybe an appetizer for you or your team, knowing that you're coming straight from the sports park. And then the restaurants will know where they're coming from, and hopefully we'll also be able to get some data to share with the council that these programs really are working. I think for years we've always talked about the sports park effect and how many people come in and out of it. And we want to try to entice people to not just stay in a hotel, go to the sports park, and go back, and that's all they see at O'Fallon. It's to get them in and around the community and see what we really have to offer. Another thing we're working on them is a distribution list where we can keep all of our businesses and partners informed of large impact events. One of the biggest complaints we get about the sports park, and there are a few of them, is from the gas stations that say, you didn't tell us there was going to be 40,000 people in town this week, and we ran out of donuts first thing, or we ran out of Gatorade. And so this is a way we can share those schedules quarterly, annually, or even the week before. Hey, we've got a massive tournament coming in town. Make sure your staff and your stock is up. Any questions about what we've worked on so far before we get to the website proposal?
I have comments first, and then question. First of all, I'm so thankful because this has been a long time coming. Councils before us did a really good job building destinations and giving millions of people a reason to come here. And I feel like this council has taken that and said, now that they're here, let's make sure that they're enjoying their experience, spending money, and doing things that help grow our economy. So I'm thankful, but I'm also really proud because I feel like the city has always had elevated experiences. We do really, really amazing things here, and no fault of anybody, we just didn't have the social media that reflected the level and the caliber of events that we provide and ways that we bring community together. And I think Allie has absolutely knocked it out of the park. It's like she understood the assignment from like day one. So I'm super proud about that. And then you talked about the partnerships. up until now, I feel like our interactions with the business and our organizations have been very transactional. They need something, we give them a form, they fill it out, it goes through a process. And what's happened in just the last couple months is we're moving beyond the transaction and we're actually like building relationships so that we can help them prosper in their business, highlighting new businesses. But we're not just focusing on the new. I mean, by creating these partnerships and more relationships, our businesses that have been here for 20 and 25 years are gonna better start to feel some of that. So kudos to Ally for that, for the hiring team, but then also to leadership, because I think it's really easy to micromanage a new position. And in what I've seen, that has not been the case. It's like, do what you think you need to do, Ally, and then if you go too far, we'll reel you in, and she hasn't gone too far. She's doing exactly what we had hoped that she would do, and I think that is a testament to the leadership's ability to just let her do her job and not put too many guardrails on it. So the only question I have up to this point is the economic impact data that we have, you know, that overnight visitors bring in $60 in economic impact every night that they stay. Daytime visitors bring in, I mean, that data is like 10 plus years old, probably even more. And we've heard from residents that have come here that work in that field that that number is probably more like $120 now. Is it worth doing something to get a better handle on that or no? I mean, is it all kind of theoretical anyway, or
Sure,
does it
I
help
mean,
justify more?
we can find a consultant that would come in and give us better numbers. We do leverage Placer AI and some
Okay.
other services. And Andrew Donor and I have had this conversations multiple times. I have yet to go to a tournament and find a hotel room for $60 a night.
I know, right?
Or do I want, I don't necessarily want to stay at one thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And restaurant, you know, you go to a restaurant with a family of four and you're probably going to spend $100.
Yeah.
And so those are numbers over time that will just increase. I think it is time. I don't know that we have to go out and hire an official consultant, but it's certainly an exercise that as a staff we can report to you.
Okay.
We've got the data now on trips, and we can do a better job of determining that true impact.
Okay. I think it's worthwhile because I don't think we're talking about it went from 60 to 70. I mean, it's probably at least doubled in the last 10 years. So
Yeah.
I think it's a worthwhile exercise to see if we can get a more reasonable, believable updated.
Through talking to staff, I think everybody knows that that number is higher. It's just, we don't want to overestimate anything. It's better to be a little conservative, but we do, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Grant, we don't want to say, oh yeah, we're bringing in $150 per person, and then people start spending less, and then we budgeted for a different amount. So staff has been pretty conservative on that, but I think that's, like what Jessica said, it is much higher.
Yeah.
With Placer AI, we can do single-day events, right, to see comparables from before we had this kind of initiative and then afterwards? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And social media has a lot of tools now that made for B2B and business services that show you true impact. They show you how many people or what posts work, which are not. And so we've got a lot of plans on how to be more kind of targeted and get the message to people that are in town or coming into town. We've done that for a number of years, but you know, I can look at different language, but I don't understand it. Ally's pretty good at understanding this language.
Are we actively considering an app for the city for,
So we have a service app. This
it's more web-based,
This
though, right?
This website would be built for mobile devices. There will be a component that when we work, because everybody at the sports park or at the market, they're not going to be carrying their PCs or their services. They'll have their phone. So I mean, as we go through the proposal, that'll be a major component. It has to be mobile friendly. What we have seen traditionally with tourism-based websites and cities and communities is the point of app download is very difficult unless you really offer them something that requires them to download the app.
Well, I think a lot of people are providing instructions to pin those websites as an app on the phone, so it's kind of like you have the best of both worlds. Just a thought. I don't know if we
Yeah.
could do that when we kick this off.
Absolutely. Great idea.
Anybody from the council have a question for Grant before he carries on?
Okay. So with the website proposal, staff went through a number of website providers. We went through who we've worked with in the past. The two main ones we've worked in the past are Atomic Dust and Matchbox Creative. Atomic Dust created the economic development website for us. They've created the downtown district website for us, and we've used them for a long time. We've had a great relationship. Matchbox created the parks website. It's very user-friendly, and so we wanted to get both proposals to make a true determination. We are recommending tonight to go with Matchbox Creative for this new website due to two factors that the main factor would be cost. The second was we really like their approach on how they go with tourism and recreational tourism. Ally has experience with them, I believe with the St. Louis SC or the Tourism Bureau with them prior, and since we've had it with the parks, we feel good about their work. So straight from the RFP, the purpose was to request approval for a new tourism-focused website designed to better promote O'Fallon as a destination for visitors, residents, sports tourism, and economic development. I'm happy to share this with you guys in the future. I won't read line to line. But some of our existing limitations was the current tourism information is spread across multiple platforms. There's a limited ability to market O'Fallon as a destination. There's navigation user experience that can be improved. Current structure does not fully support tourism storytelling. The mobile experience needs modernization. Limited ability to highlight sports tourism opportunities. An existing website does not fully showcase the local businesses, attractions, parks, and events. So we saw this as a real growing opportunity for sports tourism to promote these community events we have. Currently, we put up some on Facebook. We list them on our municipal website, o'fallon.org. But it's very static feeling. It's not the most user-friendly. Our o'fallon.org is a true municipal website that has a lot of data about anything you could need from a municipal's perspective. Its goal is to keep people from not having to come to City Hall, to get the services from their own home. It is not built to be a flashy, come back to O'Fallon and find everything you need from eating and drinking. So the city needs a modern platform that reflects the quality and momentum of this community. And the project is not simply a website design, it is an investment in destination marketing, economic development, and community branding. The scope of work provided includes a discovery phase, content strategy, website design, development, and then testing and launch. They'll do initial auditing and build out. We'll have some scope meetings with council members as well as a lot with staff. Ally will be leading up this project quite a bit. The key website features that we've relayed to them that we would like to have is a tourism-focused homepage experience, interactive and engaging visual design, mobile response functionality, sports tourism information and venue highlights, community event promotion, business and restaurant listings, parks, trails, and attraction pages, integrated storytelling through photography and visuals, an easy-to-manage content system for city staff, and search engine optimization to improve discoverability. And so the backbone for this website would be a WordPress, which Ally knows how to do. I can edit it. There's a few members on staff that can edit it. Ally's more equipped to do actual coding and design. So
easy. I can paste a new paragraph to it.
that's the extent of mine. So the tourism-focused homepage experience and interactive and engaging visual design. I think this is, we already went over that one. The website vision should function as a visitor planning tool, a tourism marketing platform, a sports tourism recruitment asset, a community storytelling platform, and a destination branding tool. Design focus will emphasize strong visuals, community pride, ease of navigation, modern user experience, and tourism promotion. And over the last couple of months, we've had a lot of council members that have sent us websites of tourism bureaus and cities that they've really enjoyed, and we've incorporated a lot of those into the initial kind of wish list. The financial overview would be $34,000 for the website build with an annual website support and maintenance of $4,800 for a total investment of $38,800. As similar with some of our other websites we have built, we will look to some of that website support, maintenance, and hosting to bring that in-house to save on annual costs. So staff recommends approval of the agreement with Matchbox Design for the development, launch, and maintenance of the new O'Fallon tourism website. This project provides an opportunity to modernize how O'Fallon presents itself to visitors, businesses, residents, and regional audiences while supporting tourism growth and economic development. So if the council approves this and we design and launch this website, the intention would be to stand up the tourism website first and then incorporate the downtown district website into that as well. So it's under the same architecture and we can keep it updated. Then the next step would be to, over a couple months, move the economic development content into this website so it's all in one platform that we can adjust and not have kind of competing website design and updating. With that, I'm open to questions.
Do we want to do questions or a motion? Or, all right, can we get a motion and a second for that?
So moved.
Second.
All right, can we get questions from the committee for Grant?
So you just described a scenario where the website will start as sort of the tourism base and then eventually incorporate downtown district and then eventually incorporate the economic development, which is a website sort of for developers or people who are looking to invest in O'Fallon through business. Knowing that it'll have three very distinct audiences, well, not very, downtown district would be a lot like the tourism.
It would,
That
yep.
even with that integration, like the main landing page, like it's still gonna feel very touristy, right? Okay, okay.
Yeah, so the landing pages will have different URLs.
Oh, okay.
So we will maintain
okay.
our identity and branding for each. It's just we're kind of keeping it,
I
we're bringing
see.
it all into one platform
That
so we
works,
can
yep.
log in and change
That works.
all at the same time.
Others on the committee? Council?
I have a question.
Dennis?
My name Mike, am I loud enough? When I first moved here, it was about 14 years ago, it was difficult to find out what was going on. I had a Google, found Illinois, I had to go to 12 different sites. A lot of times I missed stuff, so when I got on council, I always liked the idea of having an app, right, everything in one location. And I've talked with almost every councilman at length about this. I think this website does all of that, right? If we can have somewhere easy for visitors or even residents to go to be aware of where to eat, where to stay, what's going on, what events are happening, you're gonna engage way more people. It's gonna be a way better experience for everybody. So this is fantastic. I'm in favor.
Thank you.
Thanks for that, Dennis. Anybody else?
I'm sorry, I do have one more question.
Yeah, Jessica?
I recall, budget-wise, there was some action we took last year, I think, before the new fiscal year started, that was like gonna give us a discount or something. Am I remembering that correctly?
I believe that was 2 years ago.
Oh, okay,
I don't know.
Okay. okay. Whatever, I
I
mean,
think 2 years ago to update our municipal website,
oh, okay,
we had to do it before the fiscal year
okay,
to save us some money. I think that was with Civic Plus.
okay, perfect, yep.
All right.
All right.
Any other questions or concerns? All right, we got a motion second. Can we get a roll call?
Parchman?
Yes.
Lot?
Yes.
Campbell?
Yes.
Blackburn?
Yes.
Roach?
Yes.
All right, that passes. Moves on to council. Then we'll move on to 2.5, Sandy.
I'll handle this one as well.
All right,
So
great.
this is a special event application. As you guys know, we normally have these in Community Development Committee, but I knew we were meeting tonight, and for one SEPA, that's hard to host a committee for. But pre-loved grand opening for a special event application to be located at 705 Cambridge, Suite B. So this is right behind Edley's. This will be their new location. They do have an existing location in Edwardsville. And so on the screen is the proposed location where halftime sips will be on the sidewalk. F45, which was their neighbor, will have a component outside. Gertz Glacier's ice cream truck will be present in the parking lot with a customer line. And so as Pre-Loved is a business that leases or rents areas for people to come and sell their wares and goods. And so this is their grand opening. We think they'll be very successful in town. And as typical with special event permits, this is to be held on June 13th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. The requester is Savannah Romschick. They are not requesting any city services, but they're required to have a SEPA due to it being on their parking lot. And all city departments with the normal conditions have approved it. So with that, we need a motion to approve the special event permit.
All right, can I get a motion and a second?
Make a motion.
Second?
All right. Any questions or concerns from the council, or committee? Council? All right, roll call, please.
Archman?
Yes.
Lotz?
Yes.
Campbell?
Yes.
Blackburn?
Yes.
Roach?
Yes.
All right, passes unanimously. That's all of the items requiring council action. We do have 3.1 through 3.3. We have quarterly investment report. Anything you want to add or share on that?
No, that's only info.
Any questions from the committee, council? All right, 3.2, same thing.
Same thing, info only.
Any questions from anyone? All right, and lastly, municipal aggregation. Did you want to say something?
Yes, thank you. So this is just a little history lesson. Most of you, if not all of you, were not on council back in 2012 when this was a referendum. I provided a summary with kind of a background of how municipal aggregation started. It actually started back in 1997 when legislators deregulated electrical suppliers, which basically meant you could go out, commercial businesses could find their own supplier of electricity. We had a conversation earlier just to clarify. You have your delivery, which is always Ameren. Ameren will always deliver your electricity. And then you have your supplier, and that's who supplies that electricity to Ameren to deliver it to you, right? So what we're talking about tonight is the supplier portion and how that all started. So again, it started in '97 with, which benefited commercial businesses. And then back in 2009, the legislator said, let's open it up to residential for municipalities to go out to get the proposals for our residents. And so in 2012, it's actually done through a referendum. The city put a referendum out for vote, and it was approved. We have all the documentation showing, and it was approved pretty substantially. One of the questions has come up as far as, you know, why is it an opt-out program? And so the referendum language actually says, shall the city of O'Fallon have the authority to arrange for the supply of electricity for its residential and small commercial retail customers who have not opted out of such programs. So the language was actually built into the referendum. So that's why it is an opt-out program. So everyone within a community is in the program unless you opt out. So that is something dealing with and talking with our consultants. There's no community around that is a opt-in program. And one of those reasons is if it wasn't opt-in programs, most residents, again, they wouldn't opt in, they're not familiar enough. So because it was a service to our residents, that is why they put it as an opt-out program. So everybody's in, and then if you don't want to be, then you opt out. When the program started, when we first started back in 2017, it was very successful. Those of you who were around, the rate that we received for our first contract was right about 4.3 cents a kilowatt, when Ameren's was like 8 and 9 cents. So there is substantial savings. Those savings continued for years and years. You know, there are some bumps in the road where Ameren's rate might have dropped a little bit, but it would change. Our contracts normally were 2 to 3 year contracts. That rate remained stable that entire time. So it wasn't like Ameren, they have two rates normally. They have a summer rate, which runs from May to September, and then they have their winter rate where they change it again October through then May. So currently, as we all know, the market is unbelievable, so volatile. Our electric rates, people are always complaining about it. Unfortunately, we're never going to see the 4.3 cents again. When we went into the program, our intent was to save our residents money. And as I said, it was successful for quite a few years until probably couple years ago. And Ameren's rates continued to decrease. They were lower than ours. We try to stay on top of it, try to get the word out to our residents. You know, we cannot come out publicly and say, don't do it. We provide you the information, and it's their decision whether or not they want to participate in the program. And again, the beauty of this program is the contract is not with our residents. They can opt out at any time without a fee. With the caveat, if you to opt out of the program, you must maintain with Ameren, if you decide to go back to Ameren, you must stay with them for a full 12 months. So should that rate then change again, you're locked in. So this does provide stability when the market is very volatile. We were talking earlier with, you know, people have been seeing notices about Ameren's going for a temporary increase. That is in the delivery. So there is word that they are increasing delivery, and that will affect everyone. June 1st, they'll be coming out with what their summer rate will be, and that is what runs from June until October. Again, they're very tight-lipped, but word has it, it will be right around 11.2 cents. Ours is right about 12.7, so it will be lower than what our current rate is, which is contracted through May. So our 12.7 will remain that until next May. Ameren's rate, again, once it comes out around June 1st, we'll know that. We'll put out a press release so that our residents do know what that rate is. Again, with the option of they can opt out at any time. Normally, the winter rate, we have seen where that winter rate normally is even a little lower than their summer rate. So there is that possibility that their winter rate will also drop. But again, we never know until that time. So, you know, our consultants, you know, they're the experts, and sometimes they're wrong. They don't have a crystal ball either. They can only go on with their projections. And at the time, they had projected that due to the capacity sale, that Ameren's rates will be substantially higher than what we locked our 12.7 in rate at. However, based on the capacity auction, they're not so sure now. They are thinking it'll be more around the 11.2, so it will still be lower than what we currently have. So, you know, one of the things we talked about, you know, over when we started this until about now, I had put in my summary, you know, we were good. We were, you know, $5 million at one time. We were saving in cumulative savings based on average usage. Unfortunately, because that market has changed, I put in my report a loss of about $240,000 is where we're at now. However, at the time I put this out, our consultant did not include, so municipal aggregation also allows small businesses to participate, anybody who uses 800 kilowatts and lower. And so because Ameren's rate for small businesses is higher, when you take the small businesses, which we have about 400 to 450 small businesses, into that, we're on the good side. But if we're looking strictly at residential, it hasn't been so successful, you know, these past few months. So, you know, our contract, again, is good until May. This fall, we will be looking at it again. You know, it may be a possibility we don't do this for a while. You know, we don't want to go back out, but we're going to look at it, see what that October rate is. We may say, you know what, we're just going to sit out with the electrical aggregation for a while, because again, our purpose is to save our residents money. So we'll look at it, and then at that time, we'll bring it up again, you know, to let you guys know kind of where we stand with it. But I just wanted to get it out there, because again, it's a new process for a lot of you. You weren't familiar with how it works, and I'm sure you're getting hit by residents or posts on the website. So I just wanted to let you know that, you know, one of the big questions people always ask is, why do we have to always opt out? And again, it was part of the referendum back in 2012. and that's why it is, but that they can always opt out at any time without a penalty, knowing they do have to stay in with Ameren then for a full 12 years. Okay? Are there any questions? Again, it was just kind of a history lesson to kind of go over what electrical aggregation is, and so.
All right. Any questions from the committee?
12 months, yeah. I have a question. Because the contract is with us and, in this case, whoever that is at Homefield or whoever, do we have any recourse for residents? Something I've heard, I don't know that it's a problem per se, but I've heard it enough from different people that they're having trouble actually opting out.
They can.
But their contract, they don't have a relationship with Homefield, it's us, so do we have any recourse to confirm the process,
Yes.
or?
So always in my press release, I give that number. They can always contact me, and then I get the list. This last time I think I included our consultant. They have a number as well, and they help through the process. But they can always contact me. I reach out to the consultant, and then they take care of it.
Thanks.
All right, anybody else on the committee? Roy?
Yes, Sandy, we clarified that the city doesn't make any money off of this. This is a service that the city is actually helping the residents with.
Well, back in 2012, when we went into it, it was opted for a 1/10 of a cent. So yes, we do, there is a 1/10 of a cent that we do make off of it. Right.
All right, anyone else?
Oh, and I would
Yeah.
like to add also, I'm sorry, with the last contract, with the rates being as high as they were, I requested a listing of how do we stand with our rates compared with everybody else. And we actually are the lowest, other than Edwardsville, who redid a year ago. Theirs is at 10 cents. Ours is at 12.79. The next one is like 13 cents. So we do have one of the lowest rates, in all of our neighboring communities, so.
Energy right now is a very volatile industry, so we try to plan ahead to help our residents, but sometimes things happen, things change. So thanks, Sandy, for clarifying that and try to explain that what we're attempting to do. And the history behind it has been successful, but recently that has changed, so that's why we brought it to the committee. So with that being said, if there's no more questions for Sandy, we move on to public comments. Any more questions for her before we move on? All right. Now we're up to public comments. Anybody have any comments here?
Nope.
All right. Well, that being said, look for a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, got a motion, a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you.